Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is the Hammered Airsoft Smith. And in this video, I'm going to be using Birchwood KC's Aluminum Black to touch up some of my older magazines. I had three, well, two of them were 15 years old. They came with this butte here. Yes, this WE gas blowback 1911 is 15 years old. Doris. Anyways, two magazines came with her off of Kapowie.com. And then I purchased this magazine not long after, so this is probably like 14 or 13 years old. And this one was done pretty much fully in the Birchwood KC's Aluminum Black. The only parts that weren't done were the base plate, or the heel, some people call it, and up here by the mag lip. But the rest of this is Birchwood KC's Aluminum Black. It's wearing nicely. I like it. Any hoosers. Oh, and this face here was not done in Birchwood KC's Aluminum Black. This is what this magazine used to look like. If you've been following my channel for a while, you would know I had three magazines that look like this. This is a 1913 style 1911 45 ACP 7-round magazine. Yes, we know you have a bike and no one gives a fuck face shit. Oh, viewers' discretion is advised. Okay. Moving on. Yeah, so the three of these look like this. And the reason why is because my pistol I just showed you guys, I based it off of the earliest, like 1913 on blah 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 blah. I had plenty of videos, backstory on that. But the reason why they looked this way in 1913 is because they were blued. And then they were hardened. They were heat treated from about here up, because they were having an issue with the maglet bowing, splitting, and then the follower and spring coming out. So they would heat treat that to keep that from happening. So that's why the magazines are two-tone like that. This is the original factory paint, just sanded and naturally worn off. This one is going to look like how this one is going to look. Fully disassemble the magazine. It's easy enough. I push this pin out first from this side. And then I place it a certain way because I want all the pins to go back exactly the way they were. So there's no issues, just to ensure it. So this top one will go up here, and I have it so if I'm looking at the magazine as if it's in the mag well. So there'll be a ribbed part. Camera will not pick, well, it's kind of picking it up. See how it's got like ribbings? Those ribbings are going to be on this end. So when you take these out, you're going to put them back in this way, so the ribbings go in the little captive parts there. So pop that magazine out. I mean, not that magazine, that pin out. And then you'll have your mag lip, the magazine exit gasket, and then your BB follower will come out along with your spring. And the end that has less coils, and usually they kind of taper, that's the part that goes on the bottom, because that fits nicely on there like so. So after all that's removed, we move down to the bottom pins. I push the front one out first from this end, put it here because that's the front. Then I push this one out and put it next to it like this to remind me it's the back. because these two are the front, that's the back. I do it on camera, but I'm trying to cut time. It's already been 5 minutes in. I haven't done anything except explain. Then I sanded everything. Make sure it's all clean inside, there's no debris. You can use, I thought I had one ready. Guess not. Use one of these patches or anything really. Push it in there with something, anything that won't damage anything, and then just run it through to clean it. Run it through a few times just to make sure all the debris and anything in here is gone. This would be a good time to, if you have a new spring or a new follower, anything new pertaining to the magazine, you know, this would be a good time. And I left out a step, and I apologize for that. I got ahead of myself. After you push both these pins out on the bottom, what are we doing? What are we doing, dude? It's right to go. It goes like that. This will come out, and it'll be snug because this needs to be tight. This is a seal. Okay. When this is like so, you can put the screwdriver or anything through here, get underneath here, and gently, ever so gently, just kind of ease it out, and then this will pop out. You slide the base plate back and then out. Keep these lubricated when you're working on them so they don't dry out in the meantime. Excuse me a minute. Just making sure. Saw a little bit of debris in there. I don't think it would harm anything, but still, you don't want that floating around in there. Actually, it could harm something. It could fly through within the gas or whatever propellant you're using and get inside all the internals of your gun. So yeah, it could do something. So anyways, moving on to the main part. Make sure these are nice and polished. I did my little I'd like to call it famous stainless steel graining when I try to replicate the grain. And the cameras can never seem to pick it up. You can see it a little bit there where all the lines are going this way. All the lines are going this way. Again this way. And again this way. On here, it's going like so. And on here, it's going like so. I polish up the spots that I'm going to be touching up on. 8 minutes later. Well, there's a lot of people that like introductions, so this is all clean. I'm going to be using a paintbrush. Toothbrush. Yeah, because you know this is definitely a paintbrush. You can use a paintbrush, so should wear gloves, but I'm not going to be touching. So this stuff works best when the surface is extremely polished. You apply a little bit of pressure. Sometimes I notice I have to apply quite a bit of pressure because it goes into the pores of the metal. Metal is porous. So okay. Now, I'm a bit of a rebel, so I don't do exactly what the instructions say. Because I found that it works for me. I'm not saying, you know, do what I do. But I'm not going to tell you not to do it either. I'm not a hypocrite. But you leave it on when it's fully covered, or to your liking, which this is right now, because we'll go over it again. Let it sit for a minute. And then they tell you to rinse it with cold, well, wipe off the excess and rinse it with cold water. I don't always do the cold water thing. Now with this part, I knew I had it. Damn it. Unprepared. Kidding, I have it. Because of the way I'm doing this, the style I'm doing it. Again, 1913. I'm going to use some tape. Doesn't need to be perfect. They were never perfect. So, just so long as there's a line on the bottom part of the tape. From here, oops, did not mean to do that. See, be careful, man. Just so long as this line is pretty decent. As I get my fingerprints all over it. But these are older magazines, like I said, and they're quite worn. So I thought it would look really nice. Pretty interesting, historical, whatever. To have it, this two-tone. Don't really worry too much about anything going inside the pinholes, because you will be rinsing and cleaning these out before you assemble them. And also, if you're looking to do the same look as I am, again, they weren't perfect, so you don't have to have the masking tape at the exact same spot. It doesn't have to be exactly even. Nothing needs to be exact. So if I do one like this, where the tape is going along the mag catch notch here, I don't have to do the next one like that. I can make it higher, I can make it lower. Doesn't matter. Should be someone out there who would tell me that I'm doing this wrong or whatever, but you know what? When it boils down to it, as long as it's working for you and you're not harming anybody or anything, you know, it's your prerogative. Just like people have been telling me for years, do not use 3-in-1 oil on airsoft guns. Well, I learned not to use WD-40 on airsoft guns. That was a fun story. And she still made it to be 15 years old. So, we're bumping in over here. This one's been for a minute. So while we're at it, we'll touch this back up. Right now I'm going a little bit lighter, because it has not cured. It cures overnight, it says on the bottle. Overnight. It's so funny. It's so lenient. There's no set time. It's just, ooh, overnight. Just do it and go to bed. And well, what if I only sleep for like 4 hours? Or what if you're an insomniac, right? Okay. But anyways. So I took that as like 7 hours. It takes for it to cure. And try and run this along. Now, one of the ways that you can really tell that it's going to be working pretty alright is if you smell, it's so funny. The smell resembles like eggs, kinda. And sometimes I notice the metal will steam or smoke. This is not paint, just to be clear. This is like bluing for a real gun, except it's for aluminum and it's blackening. But I have, in cases, gotten a blue result. And this is for aluminum, not steel, like bluing is. Can we get this corner here? Can we do that? Can we just mosey this shit on? Again, not too worried about this stuff getting in anywhere, because it's not touching any O-rings, it's not doing any of that. Okay. And this is not one layer, we're not doing anything like that. We're probably going to do 2 or 3. But like I was saying, this is a chemical that goes into the pores and reacts to the metallurgy. So based on the metallurgy, the quality of the metallurgy is the result that you're going to get. And I believe these magazines are actually made out of steel. They should be. They're strong enough to hold the pressure of the gas that's being used. Edge. Okay. Yeah, we're brushing it on. You don't want to get sloppy with it, because you don't want this to get everywhere. This backlashes and gets into your eye or something, that's going to be a serious issue. Gets in your mouth, again, a serious issue. So that's why I said you should be wearing gloves. But as you see, I'm quite careful. I haven't gotten any on me. So plus, if you just wash it off right away, it's not that serious. You can see the chemical, that rainbowy, oily, all in here, where the tip of this brush is hitting. Like I say, I'm sure someone's gonna bitch about something I'm doing, but you know, whatever. It's like people would rather complain about what everyone else is doing. They're worrying more about everyone else and not enough about themselves. But it's ironic because a lot of this world is quite selfish and greedy. It's so confusing. Okay. This will sit. This one can be touched up again. And then after that, it'll pretty much be done. I do want to make sure that I'm getting this face, and I'm glad I'm looked, because there's some of it I missed. Okay. And you can see too, it applies so much easier after it dries a bit. Some of this is still wet, but also some of it's still dry, or gotten dry. Again, this is how I've been using it. And, you know, I've been pretty satisfied with the results. I mean, there was only one other thing that I used this on, and I wasn't too satisfied with the results. And I think that this could have came down to metallurgy or me not doing it exactly the way they say. Got some over there. I'm cool with some of it getting on there, because like I say, I'm not worried about these or this style looking perfect. Okay, this magazine is almost done. Okay. So this would be a good time to go back and use something you trust and re-lubricate the gasket on the for the bottom of the magazine where you fill. Down in here, because you have a fill valve in there. We did not have to remove that. Here's the gasket. Still lubricated, but you just want to make sure, because you don't want to put these back together and then them leak like crazy. It's not the biggest deal, but it is pretty damn irritating, to say the least. Okay, so give it a little bit. I'll wipe off the excess. Alright. I don't wipe hard, because I've noticed you could take some of it off when you wipe kind of hard. Okay. Now, since that part's wiped off, we're going to need something to waterproof and stop rust, because this stuff is corrosive, just like bluing for real steel guns. We're just going to spray that on to neutralize any kind of rust. Sometimes, depending on the look you're going for, like the look I'm going for, a little bit of that rusty coffee color, it's kind of nice. This didn't take very well on that side. More on this side. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give this one another go. I've noticed sometimes no matter how much you polish, like it doesn't stick in some spots as well as others. So we got it missing down in here, which doesn't look like it's taking to it at all, down in those spots. So I'll be giving the faces of this one an extra coating. Or, yeah, I guess if you want to call it that. It's not really a coat, but... Again, I cannot stress it enough. The way this stuff works is the more polished and reflective it is, and also depending on the metallurgies, is more effective and how dark it will get. And also depending on the metallurgies, is if it will be black or it may turn blue. The blue is exquisite, to say the least. That stuff is incredible. I don't even care anymore. Now that I'm talking about it, I don't even care anymore how long this video is going. Unfortunately, that Kimber Ultra Carry Pro project has been postponed, but you can see it has blued. I've done this whole slide in the Birchwood Casey's aluminum black. It has come out blued. It's quite blue. I think I might need a new loading nozzle. It's also a little baggy. Big deal. Alright. Gently wipe off the excess. Okay. Alright. And the final step would be to wait for the liquid wrench, or whatever you can use to stop the rust from forming. We're going to use 3-in-1 penetrate. Couldn't help myself. And then it will be reassembled. So maybe I'll do another video showing the end results. Yeah, why not? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not making any promises. Alright, everybody. This is the Hammered Airsoft Smith using Birchwood Casey's aluminum black on WE gas blowback M1911A1 single stack magazines, doing the 1913 two-tone style, and hope you enjoyed. What am I doing? Oh yeah, high power. Peace.